Okay. Should I start, Abdul?
Yes, sir, we can start.
Okay. Yeah. Hello. Hello to everyone. Thank you so much for sparing your valuable time for coming today. I hope everyone was able to join. And I think we can start in another 2-3 minutes. So till that time, I will just give a brief background about myself. I'll just share my screen. Are you able to see the screen? Hello, Abdul, are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we can see the screen.
Okay. So I invite all of you to connect with me on LinkedIn. This is my LinkedIn profile, Tushar Kansal. So basically, my background is academically, I am an engineer and I did my MBA finance from University of Delhi and in 2001, and I did subsequently an executive course from Harvard Business School. Uh, and in my 20-year-old career, I have been very fortunate to have worked with corporates like Deloitte and Touche, where I handled private equity assignments, handled due diligence, valuation, handled private equity. And after Deloitte and Touche, I was part of the team at Brand Capital, which is Times of India's venture arm, and was part of the team which invested almost 600 crore rupees across different companies. Subsequent to that, I headed treasury at the Russian telecom company MTS, which is part of Russia's largest telecom company, Sistema, which is listed on London Stock Exchange. And then handled responsibilities of chief financial officer, CFO, with the distribution logistics. It's a company which is owned by the $200 billion American private equity fund called Guggenheim Partners. Personally, I'm an investor in 4 companies. I exited one from an that was an education company, and right now no longer investing since some time because of COVID. And my company, Consultancy Ventures, we are uh, empaneled with sales ISM Dhanbad. We raise our startups and growth stage companies. We also provide financial and business advisory, and we create documents for venture capital funding like pitch deck, like valuation, like business plan. Consultancy Ventures is also a venture advisor with Loyal VC. It is a Canadian, INSEAD-led Canadian VC fund, having a core portfolio of over 200 investments in more than 35 countries. I'm also a partner with GSD Venture Studios, a Silicon Valley-based venture builder. Over the years, I have arranged funding for startups and growth stage companies in diverse sectors like edtech, fintech, consumer B2C, B2B, D2C, agri-tech, deep tech, as well as non-tech sectors. You can see the recommendations which I have received. They are all on my LinkedIn and also on my corporate website, consultancy.com. Regarding this webinar, I have been fortunate to have addressed thousands of students and startup founders and teams. I have given more than 150 webinars in the last 1 year, and I have appeared in business news channels and publications like CNN News 18, BCTV, the Venture Capital TV, Business World, Business and Economy, Curious, and Digital Market Asia. You can check my name on YouTube. You will get the videos, or on venture capital streaming website latoken.com. So this is about me. Today's topic is very close to my heart, and how to raise funds. But uh, it's such a vast field, and it is such a exciting field, and there is always so much happening in startups, in funding, every day you open Your Story, you open MSME X, you open VC Circle, you will see fundings happening. Somebody is getting $100 million, somebody is getting $300 million. It is like, you really don't know uh, that from where this money is coming from. So, my intention of addressing you all today is not only telling you how to raise funds, but also a brief background about from where this money is coming from. ये ऊपर से नीचे कहाँ से आ रहा है? And how does it chase the companies? So, how can you ensure that your company can uh, be there? So, Abdul, can you share the link with me? One of my UK contact is asking for a link to join the. If you can share the link as well, then
Okay, sure. Just 1 minute.
yeah. So, okay, about venture capital. See, there are two ways how people earn. You can have a job or a business. You can run a company. You can provide services or products. The other way is by investments, by investing money. So making return through money. And that is where uh, venture capital comes in. Venture capital, uh, yeah, venture capital is a subset of uh, the investment options, the investments which happen across asset classes. So you would know that somebody invests in mutual funds. Mutual funds are different types: open-ended, close-ended. There are systematic investment plans, SIP. Then there is people who bet in stock markets using options and futures, which are very highly leveraged, that you can take 90% debt and bet on futures and options. So they are very risky. Especially options are very risky. And then people bet on commodities, on aluminium pricing. Copper is very hot. Iron ore pricing, oil pricing, gold. Gold is really special because gold, people keep gold in the house as an investment. So it has purchasing power. The gold, it can be sold easily. So gold is one option. And real estate. So in India, people prefer real estate and gold. And only 3.5% of Indian population invests in stock markets. Uh, it might sound very low as compared to 14% in the US, but the total number of income tax payers in India is less than 6%. So from that perspective, 3.5% does not sound very out of the place. Then there is cryptocurrency. So it is not a currency; it is a number on the screen because the world is not adopting it as a currency. So that is why it is very volatile, because it doesn't have any intrinsic value. It can't be like, you have a coin in your hand and you can give it to somebody and a value. It is just tradable and very liquid. So people can bet on it by using the screens. And that is why it's very, people find it very easy to bet. Uh, but because there is no inherent value, real value in a crypto, like oil, if you are trading on a commodity exchange, oil has value, copper has value, aluminium has value. uh, if you are betting in forex, you are betting against different currencies: dollar, euro, yen, yuan. There are betting markets in forex. So end of the day, all these currencies have value because the governments are backing them. So in crypto's case, what happens is, because it doesn't have any value, uh, it is led by news. So Elon Musk tweets something for Dogecoin, it goes up 20%. China takes some action against cryptocurrencies, it falls by 40%. So it is very news led. It is pure, you can call pure betting, pure setup. And so, where venture capital comes is that end of the day, if you are betting your money on different asset classes, you are chasing returns. So the safest way to generate return by using your money is fixed deposit in a bank. And a government bank like State Bank of India, you have a fixed deposit there. In India, the FDs, the fixed deposit, they give you a lot of return. So 4.5% to 5% post tax. Now you can imagine, bina bethe, bina kuch kiye, you are not doing anything, you are getting 5% per year. This does not happen anywhere in the world. The interest rates in dollar, US dollar, if you keep your dollar in a bank, is 0.5% per year. And euro, 0.25% per year. Japanese yen, negative. If you keep your yen in the Japanese bank, you have to pay the bank to keep your money. So all this is, money is easily available, especially the foreign money, dollars, euros, and yen, because these countries are printing their currency in full speed since the last, from the time Bill Clinton was there, 1992, 91, almost 30 years. Since the last 30 years, the printing presses of the world are in full flow. They are printing dollars, euros, and just showering them on the, and because they are so cheap, it's so cheap to take a dollar loan. It costs you 0.5% per year. It's very cheap. So the businesses have a big advantage in the US and Europe and Japan. Just take, just take, uh, just take money very cheaply from the bank. And I'll try to change my. Am I audible, or should I change my internet connection, Abdul?
You are audible, sir.
Okay, okay. So, so what I'm trying to tell you is that the Western countries, they developed themselves, and then the competition was so much that they were looking how to get more profits. And when they were looking how to get more profits, then they started thinking of ways to lower the cost of businesses. And so that's why all their manufacturing shifted from US and Europe first to Japan, which had a cheap labor, and which was helping businesses like anything. And then when Japan became rich, then South Korea, then Malaysia, Indonesia, Taiwan, and Southeast Asian countries, specifically Singapore. And so, once they had all the manufacturing, then the other countries started thinking that manufacturing is the way forward. So, they offered very cheap labor, no environmental norms, and that's why all the, and the last one was China. China started somewhere in 1988, 89. So all these countries have become rich on the back of um, easy labor, educated population, uh, land pricing, ease of business. But what did the Western nations do? US and Europe. They became money lenders to the whole world on the back of a strong currency. So the dollar, no matter how much dollar the US prints, its value doesn't go down. I mean, compared to other currencies, it is going down, but it doesn't evaporate. Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe tried to print their currency, Zimbabwean currency, but its value evaporated overnight. But US keeps on printing trillions of dollars, its value does not evaporate. Why? Because the world uses dollars. Saudis sell their oil in dollars. That was the agreement these guys had almost 70, 80 years back, that they will sell their oil in dollars. So the US dollar is also called petrodollar. And because US, the whole businesses in US and Europe, they moved from manufacturing towards a services led economy, and mostly around technology and finance. And that is why the salaries in technology and finance are the most, because they have access to money, easy money. And so these money is available with investment bankers, with banks, to play around asset classes. And why venture capital is important is that it is the riskiest investment. You are betting on young people, and you are betting on taking shares of companies and startups that are not listed on the stock exchange. So you can't sell the share anytime. It's not like I take 20% in MSME X and I can sell it anytime. No, I can't sell it. I need to find a buyer. If it was a listed company like Reliance and HDFC and ICICI, I can go to the stock exchange and sell the shares anytime. So my investment is stuck. And because these startups, they are trying to do something new all the time, and they are trying to do something in technology, and technology changes every 3 to 6 months. So if you look at the variables which are there in your investment, it is very risky. The risk reward ratio is very turned. Now, why venture capital takes so much of media space, and that is because even after being very risky, the returns generated by venture capital have been the maximum on an average basis. Like, I am not counting all the VC funds, but the good funds, if you look at their returns and compare it with the good mutual funds, compare it with the good real estate funds, compare it with the good commodities funds, then the return given by VC funds is 54% annually on an average over 10-year period. Now you might think they are investing in the riskiest area. Then how come they have the maximum return? It is because they follow a portfolio approach. A portfolio approach means that I will invest in 10 companies. 7 of them probably won't do well. One of them will do average. And out of the balance 2, any of them will become 300 times, 500 times. Your investment will become 500 times, 300 times. Because there is easy money, the valuations of the companies are in a bubble. So we are startup valuation, stock market valuation, oil is $75 right now a barrel, whereas the world is moving away from oil. So so all these pricings, they are on a roof, and people have been speculating because the last crisis which happened in the world, the latest one is COVID crisis. But prior to that, the last one was Lehman Brothers crisis in 2008. And prior to that, the dot-com bust in 99-2000. So people are speculating that just like 2008 Lehman crisis happened, so anytime another crisis might happen. But what the governments are doing is that instead of letting a crisis happen, how they name the crisis is recession. Recession means that GDP growth becomes negative. Like right now, India is like 7-8% GDP growth. If it was minus 0.1%, then we call it recession. And the way the statistics is analyzed globally, they are very, very wary of recession. They say कि recession nahi aana chahiye. So, the GDP growth should not go minus. And, one common aspect apart from free flow of money or finance is the march of technology. Technology has been marching on in spite of crisis. It marched on in dot-com bust and bubble, boom and bust. It marched on after Lehman crisis. And now India is seeing 2 to 4 unicorns every week. 2 to 4 startups in India are becoming unicorns every week. Unicorn means when the value of the startup is more than $1 billion, means around 7,500 crores. So every week we are seeing that 2 to 4 unicorns are being born. And the craze, people come to me from tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, and they are so motivated that they want to do something different, uh, because they see that how the world is moving towards innovation and technology, and the whole thing is changing like anything. So, can you imagine your life without a smartphone? We are from the time when local landline phones were there. Nowadays, because artificial intelligence is used so much by the apps and by the operating system, it is very sticky. The stickiness is so much you can't do away with the smartphone. And because you can't do away with the smartphone, uh, you are using it too much. And if anyone is using it too much, you are also spending money on it. You are purchasing something or the other on the smartphone. And that is where the marketplace has shifted. The marketplace has shifted to the smartphone. So, I remember I had gone to an office, fund office in Mumbai, Matrix Partners. And the guy sitting there, he told me that, Tushar, solve a fundamental problem for human beings. Your startup should be solving a fundamental problem for human beings, just like Uber and Ola solved the taxi problem. Grocery problem was solved by Big Basket and Grofers. And Google is solving the problem of finding data. Facebook is solving the problem of social communities being built on the internet. And the very basic problems are being solved on apps. So if you are solving a very basic problem, and in your equation, the smartphone is there, and in India, it is very easy to get subscribers. We have so much of population on the smartphone and on the internet that any new startup, they just start off with the consumer thing, and in no time they have lakhs and lakhs and millions of downloads. The problem is how to monetize that customer base. So, Udaan is a B2B, it's a unicorn startup. Turnover, I remember some time back, was I think 60 or 200 crores, something like that. And the valuation of the company was 7,500 crores. The customer base was good, but the problem is monetization. So because a lot of money is chasing these asset classes, so many a times the startups say that we will monetize later. Let us first build our customer. And once we have a captive customer, we will monetize it later. So here comes the second angle of data. So Google has mapped all the people who visit Google. Google has mapped each of them on 700 parameters. Where does this person go? When he sleeps, where he lives, where he travels, what kind of things he buys, um, is he requiring any service like lawyer service, CA service. They have mapped you. 5 billion people out of 8 billion has been mapped by Google. And this trend is now taking shape. Everybody wants to map customers because that database is the key of selling products and services in-house. And this data, the governments are now waking up. They're saying that the data of our citizens should not be in the hand of foreign companies. They should be stored within the country. So every government has brought out right of privacy laws, data localization laws, and that's why data centers are now booming in India, because all these companies are now opening small offices here and they are localizing the storage of data. And so, all these things have presented a variety of opportunities for the wannabe entrepreneur. The wannabe entrepreneur today can think of making a career in almost anything which uses technology uh, or which solves a fundamental human problem. Now, if you are a startup, how do you raise funds? Let me first tell you the options, how you can raise funds. The first option is you go to accelerators and incubators. Accelerators and incubators are those platforms which help you in your initial business by opening the company, company secretary, CA, lawyer, internet connection. You need cloud. Then they will help you with Amazon Web Service and Microsoft and Google Cloud. You need co-working space. Then accelerator, many times they have co-working space, but they will take equity from you, 3 to 8% equity, and they will fund you between 15 lakhs to 25 lakhs. So my company is a partner with 28 accelerators and incubators. So we can take you to, so that's the first funding option. The second funding option is you take money from the government of India. So to take money from the government of India, uh, they have various schemes, SIDBI scheme, IFCI scheme, Startup India scheme. But the problem is the paperwork takes time. So I know of companies who have taken 25 to 50 lakhs from the government of India, but it took them 1 year. Basically, paperwork and basically presenting yourself in the government events, Startup India events, and that's why. The second option is you take a loan. Now, the point is, because see, historically, India has been a socialist country. So the government was supposed to manage everything. So the government borrowed a lot of money from the market. And they have been borrowing so much of money from the market since independence that that the debt on the government's books is huge. And because they borrow so much money from the market for this scheme, that scheme, for Manrega scheme, this scheme, that scheme, so there is very less money available with the banks for the private sector. And because of that, the interest rates on the loans which the private sector and the retail, the people like you and me, individuals, which we get is high. So India has always historically been 7% interest rate to 12%, and more even, unsecured 16%, 24%. So the irony for the businessman is, on one hand, you are living in the most price and quality conscious customer. The business environment is highly quality conscious and highly price conscious, service conscious. Indian customers are very tough to please. And on the second hand, the loan which you are using to run your business costs you 9% to 12% per year. In the US, it costs 0.5%. In China, it costs 3%, 4%. Secondly, you want land. Now, land with electricity and water is the government gives you on a on a tray. Take it. In Southeast Asian countries, in China, Japan, US, Europe, India, it depends on which state you are talking, because we are a collection of 28 states. Each have their own laws. And thirdly, approvals, licenses. Things have improved a lot with licenses and approvals. No doubt, things have improved a lot. Now, if you want to take a loan from the bank and you are a startup, they won't give you the loan, because historically the interest rate has been very high in India. So the bankruptcy is also very high. Businesses are not able to pay the loan. So the banks historically have been taking collateral. Collateral means they will ask the real estate of the founder to keep as security, collateral. And because these are secured loans, so you are taking a risk of your real estate whenever you are taking a loan from the bank. And when you are starting with a new company, a startup, you won't just get a loan like that. You have to show the cash flows of the business, that these cash flows can service the interest rate. Now, this situation is not so good if you compare with the options available abroad. So Y Combinator offers you very unique funding in the US. They will call you on stage to give your pitch for 15 minutes. Then they will give you a check if they like your business. And the agreement which they get signed, it says that you can, the preference shares which Y Combinator is taking will get converted into equity in the next funding round. Whatever valuation comes in the next funding round, little bit discount to that, because they are investing early. So naturally they need some advantage. So that is why whatever valuation will happen in the next business round, in the next investment round, 20% discount to that. So discount is between 5 to 30%. The main thing is, if the startup earns enough money that they can pay back the money which Y Combinator has invested, they can pay it back as a loan. So imagine how much benefit they have given you. If you feel your business took off nicely and now commanding a huge valuation, and you feel that their $300,000 you can give it back, so you just give it back and you get your preference shares back. So that kind of options are still not available in the Indian scenario. But apart from that, there are, as I told you, government option, loan option. Third, the accelerator incubator option. Now the next option is venture capital. Actually, angel investment. So you can get money from angel investors. The good part about taking money from angel investors is everybody is an angel investor nowadays. Industrialist is an angel investor. The job person is an angel investor. The housewife of an industrialist is an angel investor. There are two types of broadly angel investors. Three types. One, a rupee angel investor who has earned his salary in rupees. He does not put much money. So if you take money from a rupee angel investor, he will put between 1 to 25 lakhs. In some cases, 40 lakhs. And if you take money from a dollar angel investor who is like doing a job in Singapore, Hong Kong, Dubai, naturally their currency is strong. So they are earning more in terms of currency. So naturally they can put in more money. So they put in 2 crores, 2.5 crores. And there also there are two types of angel investors. One is an angel investor who belongs to a particular sector like agriculture. And he says, I have been in a bank giving agri loans, so I understand the agriculture sector very well. I will invest in an agri-tech company because I understand the sector very well. The second angel investor is the one who says, I don't understand the sector. So I will rely on uh, VC funds. So he will put his money in a VC fund, or he will put his money in an accelerator, and they will invest further in companies. So this is about angel investors. Then the option comes venture capital funds. Venture capital fund will give you anything from 1.5 crores to 30 crores, 20 crores, 30 crores. And after 10 Club raised $40 million in seed capital. So the VC fund guys are uh, slowly becoming more and more happy to put money earlier. So Kalari started K-Start, Sequoia started Surge. They said, if we invest early, we are taking a lot of risk. But those companies who will do well, we will make a huge return. So, so the VC investors nowadays are happy to put in money early, pre-Series A. Okay, I will tell you what Series A is. The first investment round is seed capital, and the next one is pre-Series A, then Series A, then Series B, Series C, and so on. Now, the venture capital guys, they are, so they also have to de-risk themselves. And how will they lower the risk? So what they do is they like to put money when a founder of a successful startup is starting out again. So somebody who already had a great startup, Kunal Shah had Free Charge. So when he started Cred, he got a huge $15 million, $14 million. And Jupiter. So when Jitendra Gupta started Jupiter, he got huge funding as well. With 10 Club, 10 Club has got $40 million, but the founders, first of all, they were already from a successful startup. Secondly, before taking money from VC funds, 10 Club guys, they went into the market and got letters signed, agreement signed with a business worth $15 million. So basically, the fund guy said, okay, I'm putting in huge money, $40 million, but they already have business revenue potential worth $15 million. And the valuation of startups runs in multiples. So, profit, operating profit, revenue. The valuation of the company is in multiples. So what money you are making from profit and loss from selling your product and service, 15, 20, 30, 50 times more you are making on the balance sheet, on the valuation. So the fund guys, they are very, very aware of the fact that today they are betting money on something, and when this thing will start generating revenue, operating profit, and profit, then their investment will go in multiples. And once the investor sits on your company balance sheet in the capital table, we call it cap table, then they ensure that the future valuation of the company will also grow in multiples. Because they have raised funds, VC fund guys have raised funds from angel investors or institutional investors by promising them a return. So how do you raise a VC fund? You go to a rich people, you go to institutional investors like Brookfield and Bravia and pension funds and endowment funds. You tell them, we will manage your money and we will give you 20% IRR, internal rate of return, every year. So naturally, the fund guys are under pressure. They have to invest that money at a decent valuation and ensure the companies work fine and then get an exit. And getting exits in India has not been easy. It has been very difficult. But with the IPO of Zomato, so the loss-making new age technology companies, they were not allowed to be listed on the stock markets, but it only started with Zomato. And now Zomato has got listed, so now all of them are lining up. So the best exit which the fund guy gets is that the investee company gets listed on a stock market. So because the shares will become tradable, so anytime the investor can sell his shares. The second way in which the VC fund can get an exit is by the company buys back the equity. The company says, I'm giving you your 20% IRR. It has been 5 years since you invested. We will buy back. But that doesn't happen usually. The company, generally, they don't buy back because they want to utilize their money for better things in the business. So the third option is that the founder buys back. The founder says, you had invested money in my company. Now I'm in a position to buy back the equity. So you sell it to me. The fourth option is that they find a third party investor, an investor who says, okay, the company has grown. Let us get a valuation done from a registered valuer, and let me buy the shares from the original investor. And the next option is that the company, the startup, they do a merger and acquisition. So they're saying, we are not finding an investor, so let us do a merger. So merger can happen by either giving cash, or it can be swap of shares. You give me your shares, I will give you my shares in a particular ratio, valuation ratio. So those are the ways they try to get an exit, the fund guys. Now, all this background I've given you, I'm trying to, so basically we are doing a power series very soon in October. And all these things which I have told you, we will discuss in great detail. And my presentation is not very big. I will take you through the presentation, how to raise funds. And at the end of it, I will tell you that, how you can join the power series. Now, how to raise funds. So let me just go to the next slide. Yeah. So we present our information properly in a document which is called the pitch deck. And the pitch deck has 15 to 16 slides, and it has the information about the company presented very nicely. So my team also creates a pitch deck. We do it. We create a business plan also, which is a 25-page project report. and we get the valuation done for companies also. So this is a pitch deck. Now, what are the investors looking for when they are thinking of investing in your company? So I'll just have some water. Sorry, coffee. Yeah. So the first thing is the problem statement. The problem statement means how you are making life easier for people. So I gave you some examples earlier. Now, if you look at 10 Club, 10 Club, I have been mentioning again and again because they raised $40 million seed capital, which is a big thing. What they do is there are sellers on Amazon and Flipkart, and they are selling their products. Now, these are very small, many of them are very small companies. Now, they are selling their products on Flipkart and Amazon. They don't have access to huge amount of resources. So they don't know how to build a product strategy. They don't have huge amount of cash to do the branding for their product. Because once you do branding, you can charge much more. So, and then, they have HR problems. They can't really employ too many people because their product might be selling like 1 crore, 2 crore things, worth of turnover. So what 10 Club does is it has access to relationships in the market. It has access to high quality product people, technology people, marketing people, HR people. It has access to know-how, international best practices. And now it has access to $40 million seed capital. What they do is they will buy these small sellers on Amazon and Flipkart. So they buy, 1 crore turnover company. They will say, okay, you can't get a buyer for such companies, right? So 10 Club will say that, okay, we will buy you out for 1. So 1 crore turnover company, they will buy for 1. So just like that, they signed letters with $15 million worth of businesses. And after buying all of them, they create a portfolio of products which they can sell on Amazon and Flipkart. So imagine the problem they are solving. They are solving a fundamental problem faced by the small businessman, which is how to scale, how to build your brand, how to differentiate your brand. They are solving a fundamental problem and they are standardizing that solution. So the first thing you tell the investor is your problem statement. Second, you tell the solution. Third thing you tell is, just a minute, I'll take the slide ahead. Yeah, this is the problem statement. And then you tell the solution. And the solution, it should be explainable. You can't say that there is a environmental problem and I will do cloud seeding, but with such a costly aeroplanes and all, how will I do cloud seeding? I haven't thought about it. Your solution should be clean, simple, and something which can be validated easily. Then the third is most important, the team behind. End of the day, the investor is betting on people. He's betting on the founder, co-founder. Don't have only one founder, have 2 or 3 co-founders. Have a mix of people in the team, the CXO, the vice president, somebody from the product side, somebody from finance side, a good CFO. A lot of the startups, they just rely on the CA, but they need a lot of financial skills also. So have a balanced team. End of the day, even if your product is bad, it can be corrected. If the team is good, they will correct it. They will pivot the business model later on. So team is most important. And don't make a fundamental mistake, which a lot of people make. If you are in a technology business, then have a technology person in the founding team. And next, market size and opportunity. See, if you are operating in a market which is only $100 million, then even if you become the best in the market, you will have 50% market share. Then your turnover will be half of $100 million, which is $50 million. $50 million, the valuation will be at a particular number. So end of the day, the VC fund will say this company will never be able to go beyond $50 million turnover. If they have to go beyond $50 million turnover, they have to enter either new markets, or they will have to put money in building the market. Like we used to see these advertisements in the market of eggs, the Egg Federation say that eat eggs. They want people to eat eggs because they are building the egg market. Because the egg market is small, so the federation is putting money. Now federation won't put money, right? Federation is comprised of businessmen only, so they need to put money. So be very, very aware that whatever problem you are solving, what is the market size, and hence the opportunity. What is the opportunity? I faced initially a problem. This company had come to me. Brilliant founders. They were amazing. They were all very, very knowledgeable and working in top Japanese MNC. Very, very amazing people. But they started out to solve a problem which the market in India was very small. So they faced problems with fund guys over there. They could convince angel investors, but some funds, they straight away said market size is small. Next, you might be in a very good market, but how do you make money from that proposition? So business model. Explain how your business makes money. Commission based? Is it, if it is a software as a service, SaaS, is it monthly or yearly subscription? Sales channels, direct sales, wholesale. Explain how your product works. And when you are explaining how your product works, you can show product pictures and videos also. Then the next is traction. Traction means what is the business you are doing as of now? What is the turnover, operating profit, and profit you are doing as of now? So you can show your traction in revenue growth, customer growth, vendor and partners growth. Now here I will cover a lot of these things in the Power series, but here I can tell you something. So when a startup guy starts, he has to first do a POC, proof of concept. After he does POC, he has to do a MVP, minimum viable product, which means you created a product, but whether it has a demand in the market, whether people will buy it or not. And the third thing is product market fit, which means you know that your product has buyers in the market, but at what price points will you launch them? And how many types? You might be having 3 types of products, each having a different price point. And then what is your distribution strategy? So all these things, they form part of PMF, product market. A lot of it is research, it is a research which I can tell you. A lot of these founders, they make a mistake because they develop something and then they realize it does not have a market. People are not willing to pay for it. I read a poll, a research which was done. It said that 60% of the founders, startups, they fail because their product didn't have a market. So I think this points to the fact that you have to do a lot of primary and secondary research. And nowadays, doing research is very easy. You put a poll on LinkedIn, you put a poll anywhere, people will reply to it. So doing a research is not that difficult nowadays. Then, after traction, competitor analysis. Which are your competitors? See, a lot of the time, I've seen sometimes, founders, they are not able to explain their business. They say, they'll say just this, that. The investor will say, I'm sorry, I'm not able to get your business. But if you are able to tell them who are your competitors, then the investor is able to make out. And if you're telling the name of your competitors, then you have to tell how are you better, how are you different. So competitive advantages you have to, like unique selling proposition, like superiority of your product, or the pricing, or the availability. And financial projections you have to give, because the investor will be invested in your company for 3, 5, or 8 years. The Indian industrialist families, they like to put money for 3 years. Usually, it's not a it's not a hardcore formula, but I'm just broadly telling you. And the Indian uh, business family, 3 to 5 years. And the Western pension funds and all these people, they are happy giving you money for 8 years, 10 years. So your window is that much more. But you have to tell the financial projections, that how many things you will sell in 5 years, how much investment will go in there, how will the profit come, in what time will the money be recovered. So that needs a financial modeling. So my team also does financial modeling. We do financial modeling, we create projections, we do valuation also. Then the ask, the amount you are expecting and for how long. So that you can state the amount both in dollars and rupees. And the fund guy will ask you, where will his money go? How will you utilize? So he will ask you, this money will last for how many months? So what is the cash burn? So see, if you are taking the money for 12 months and then you need more money, then of course the investor will think that uh, this guy, instead of spending his time on running the business, he will be spending his time on finding funding next round. So the ideal situation is that you ask for that much cash burn, which you will have to do for 18 months. 18 months is a good time where you can utilize the cash and generate return. And then the use of funds. You will use it for marketing, you will use it for operations, for recruiting the team, for expanding to new geographies, for HR. So, if you are a consumer product into B2C or B2B, the fund guys are very happy giving you funds for marketing. They like their money to go into marketing. And so, we have seen a new field open up in fintech. It's called revenue-based financing. So revenue-based financing is that that you give your money as a loan to a consumer company, a digital consumer company, which generates revenue from internet, website, D2C, direct to consumer, D2C. like Mama Earth, like there are many D2C company, Boat headphones. So they will give you money as a loan. Suppose they give you 1 crore, and then they will put a commission on each uh, money you are earning on the internet, on your payment gateway. So your payment gateway money is coming to you. The payment gateway will deduct 2.5% and give it to the revenue financing company. And this they will keep on charging for 4 to 6 months. So end of the day, instead of 1 crore loan which they have given you, they will take back almost 1.5 crores. So almost 50% interest in 6 months, which is very costly. But it is an option which is available for you when you don't have funding. You can take revenue based financing. So that is a good option which has opened up. Next is future roadmap. How many customers will you have in how many months? How many offices you will open? When will you launch your new next generation product? And anything, also financial numbers, but more than that, the other aspects like number of employees, number of customers. Thank you. So this is, I've tried to tell everything, but these are, I'm conducting masterclass and power series on MSMEX. Uh, so this is the masterclass today, and this will be repeated on 25th September, Saturday 4 p.m., 12th October 4 p.m., 16th October 1 p.m. And then I will do the power series. So power series is 4 sessions. First session is what do investors want? How do they structure transactions? It is on 22nd October. And then I will do second session. What is an investor's term sheet? A term sheet, 20-page whole document. What does it have? Third one is how to create a pitch deck. Fourth one is how to do a valuation of a company. So this power series will cost you 6,000 rupees, including GST. It will be 6 to 8 hours, and each session will be for 90 minutes. So thank you for today, and I'm open to questions. Abdul, I will hand it over to you from there, and thank you so much for a very patient audience. I'm open to any question you want to ask. Hello, Abdul?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Yeah. So I see a lot of questions here. Should I answer them?
Yes, sure, sir.
Okay. Okay. So I don't know. There are so many questions.
We
I
can
would.
do one thing, sir. Everyone who is listening to me, can you
Mhm.
just post your queries on the Q&A section so that the chat is not filled up and we cannot miss the queries. So it would be a request to all the attendees to just put their queries in the Q&A section. Thank you.
Okay. Uh, okay. So Rahul says, okay. So you are saying how to search for investors. I've already in this presentation, I've covered what investors want to hear. So usually when we help startups and companies in raising funding, then we create their documentation. We tell them the frequently asked questions by investors. We help them with unit economics. Unit economics means that each unit of product or service you are selling, it should be on a profit. So not like WeWork that everything is in losses. So we help in that. Then we help in term sheet negotiation. Then we help in due diligence, which the investor does uh, on the company. And then we help in signing the shareholders agreement. So we help in all these ways. For pitch deck, how much you charge, Ashish Shah, please approach me on LinkedIn. I will tell you there. It's not much. Good accelerator to go out for blockchain crowdfunding platform. Yes, there is a good accelerator for that. I will connect you. Please approach me on LinkedIn. Divyanshu Gupta, VC firms look for new idea businesses only or traditional business. For example, our business is ice cream manufacturing and marketing. See, Divyanshu, you are in a very good business. It's a consumer business. It's a consumer facing business. Uh, See, end of the day, the product can be traditional. There is no problem. But you should be disrupting the market. How are you different from the competition? What have you brought into this business, which if the investor puts in money in Divyanshu Gupta, his product will beat the competitors? What is that? Is it better delivery? Is it better quality? Is it better price point? Is it more availability? Is it like, your product is organic and the other products are not organic? Is it so, you have to present a value proposition. Why should the customer buy Divyanshu Gupta's ice cream? Why? Why not quality? Why not the other brands which are already there? So you have to think on that. It does not matter if it is a traditional thing. You look at Zerodha. Zerodha, Nitin Kamath opened Zerodha. He brought down the pricing of investing in stock markets, and then he created a. Have you seen the panel of Zerodha when you trade in the stock market? I used to use some brokerage softwares earlier, and they had so many buttons. So many buttons, you really don't know what to do. This button, that button, they have 50 buttons. And Zerodha, they did a research and they said that 90% of these buttons are not used by anyone. They are just there to impress the customer. So the platform which they created for investing in stock market is very simple. It has huge buttons. It has very simple options. So apart from the pricing, they disrupted the technology also. I hope I've answered. Happy to connect with you on LinkedIn and help you. Why 18 months period? Because Sunil asks why 18 months period. See, 12 months just passes by like that. You are settling in with the money and then you are planning out things. Then, naturally, you won't go out to raise money on the last day. You will start at least 4 months early. So if it is 12 months cash burn you have taken and you are starting to raise money in the 8th month, all the time you are spending time in raising money. When will you do your business? So that is why 18 months is something which they like, investors. And Kiran Ekhande has said, I need 10 lakh to start a laptop rental business. You'll have to approach angel investors for a figure like 10 lakh. You can also approach angel networks. I can help you with that. Mayank Agarwal says, can you please elaborate traction? Traction means dhanda kitna kar rahe ho? What is the revenue you are doing as of now? How much are you selling? What is the revenue? What is EBITDA? EBITDA means operating profit, earning before interest, depreciation, taxation, and amortization. And Ganesh Harikantra says, please share the PPT. Okay, so this recording, I will share with you this recording on LinkedIn. If you can add me on LinkedIn. Ankush Sharma, thank you, sir. But main things, Power Series, Power Series, I told you, I will cover valuation, term sheet, and I will just wait, I'll tell you. Yeah, so I will cover. First thing is how to structure transactions. Second, what is a investor term sheet and how can you negotiate the term sheet? Third is how to create a pitch deck. And fourth, how to do valuation of the company. So I will cover all these four things. And then the next is, okay. Sorry. Valuation is based on turnover, EBITDA or PAT. So valuation is basically, how can I tell you in such a short time? There are many ways in which valuation is done. Like, you create cash flow projections for 5 years, and then you estimate the current value of these cash flows. That is discounted cash flow. And then the multiple of turnover, multiple of EBITDA, multiple of PAT. So there are different multiples. I will tell you more about it on the power series. How much interest rate the venture capital charge on monthly basis? No, they went Harsh, venture capital guys don't charge any interest rate. There are some instruments which can be used to invest in a company. They are called preference shares, debentures, and warrants. So these instruments, uh, if the if the investor is taking preference share and debentures, then it has an option. The venture capital guy has an option to take interest on that till the time it is converted to equity. So otherwise, there is in normal equity, in vanilla equity, there is no interest. What is your opinion on electric vehicles mobility? Amazing. It is a huge market, just amazing market. Can you help, Kiran? Okay. Can you help in getting it? I don't know what. 10 lakh. Okay. We'll discuss it on LinkedIn. Syed Samiullah Shah. Fourth session. Okay. Fourth session you are asking. Fourth session is how to do valuation of a company. So in this session, I will tell you about many ways in which how you can value your company. So zaruri nahi hai that you value it on very traditional basis also. Abhi recently, I did a funding for a company. They had created formulations, chemical formulations for creating organic beauty products. Apart from all the ways in which we did a valuation, we did also the valuation on the intellectual property of these formulations, the value of these formulations in the market. So I will cover that in Power Series. Where do you get mentors? Yeah, mentor is very important when you are moving towards an aim in life. You want to create something in the market. You need people, right? You need good people by your side. So sometimes you need to bounce off your ideas, then take a decision. And then you need relationships in the market to get business, to get investors. So mentor are available in the market. You can take from product side, marketing side, experienced people. But they will take something. Either they will take a monthly fee, or they will take equity, or they will take both. And Senthil Balaji says, how can we follow and understand the VC focus segment? You have a lot of, but objective and focus segment might be different. I don't understand your question. I think you are thinking too much. Objective and focus segment. Sorry, I don't think there is. Just simplify things. Just keep it simple. Don't complicate it. VC is sounds very complicated, but it is not that complicated. If anyone is making a prototype, then to whom he should go for initial funding? Initial funding, angel investors. Angel investors or accelerators and incubators. Hello, sir. Could you please repeat the name of the abroad investor with the option to pay? Y Combinator. I will put it in chat. Y Combinator. Just a minute. Y Combinator. I put it in chat. Um, this is asked by Sneha Govindarajan. So it's called Y Combinator. Anita Chris Evert, how much would it cost to get pitch deck and business plan? Ma'am, please approach me on LinkedIn. I will tell you it's not much. Shiraz Pasha, is there any non-interest based funding available in India, something like in GCC countries? See, I told you, euro, dollar, and yen. If you take on loan, then the interest rate is very low. And in India, interest rate is high because I told you of legacy reasons. In GCC countries, they have a lot of oil money. So that is why their interest rates are low. In India, there is no non-interest based funding. It is only venture capital and angel investment, equity money. So if you're giving shares of your company and then taking the money, then it is without interest. It is not a loan. Mandar says we are an IT products company valued at 200 crore and we are looking for funding for to spin off. Okay, so I really need to see what kind of product you are created. If that product is totally different, Mandar, then we can think of spinning it off and creating a new company. Ganesh, how do company valuation? It's a big subject, Ganesh. We have DCF, market multiples, PECV method. We have transaction multiples method. We have NAV method, net asset value. So, I will cover all of that in the power series. Shantanu Anya Panavar, how much percentage equity? Okay, this is a very nice question. Shantanu Anya Panavar, the VC is not happy with taking in the first round, taking less than 10%. So you offer him anything between 16 to 24%. If you are offering them 26% or more, then the VC fund has a right on the board of directors to block special resolutions as per company law. So that is why it is better that you give them 16 to 24% in the first round. In the second round, it depends on the business performance, how much business your company is doing. So what is the valuation? But in the second round, you can give them 12%, 12, 10 to 14%. How a small scale manufacturing startup companies or interest for VCs? Small scale manufacturing is main thing is market size. If the market size of the product is good, then if VC puts in his money, he will think, I am putting my money in this company. Will my money grow? Will you increase your manufacturing size? Will will your product find new buyers? So, I think they will be of interest to VCs, but then it depends on which market you are talking about. What is the product and what is the market? So Janish, you approach me on LinkedIn. I will try to, we'll discuss about your manufacturing setup. Ashish Shah, I'm not on link in LinkedIn. Achal, apart from LinkedIn, okay. So on LinkedIn, if you are not there, then you can approach me through my website, consultancy.com. I will put it on chat. So when you go to my website, you will see the way to approach me. Email is there. You can approach on email also. Valuation report is important. Manoj Bajaj says, is valuation report important? Valuation report is important when you have to, when you are talking about the valuation with the investor. So the investor will ask you, see, basically two people are sitting, investor and founder. Investor says 1 crore value. Founder says 10 crore value. So how will you negotiate? So the negotiation can only happen by logic. And if it is happening through logic, then naturally there has to be a justification of the valuation. And if the justification of the valuation is there, you have to present a report that this is how I made my valuation at 10 crore. So the investor can read it, understand it, and then tell you, okay, in these things, I don't find this thing right. Then you can both negotiate on the basis of logic, on the basis of logic. That is why valuation report is important. Mr. Bharat Patel says, why is that investor prefer mostly companies with IIT, IIM badge? Very nice question, Mr. Bharat. Uh, I wish I had more time today. It's a very deep subject. Basically, what happens is the biggest factor why investor gives you his money, people don't realize, is trust. That his money should not be stolen. Tomorrow, the founder takes out the money from the company, runs away, says that, no, nothing happened. The business didn't happen. Your money is gone. So the investor does not want that situation. So they invest on trust. And when they invest on trust, then the biggest factor uh, becomes the the biggest factor becomes alumni network. Let me invest in my alumni network, INSEAD network, Harvard network, Blackstone network, Bravia network. So in my alumni network, there are very less chances that anybody will steal my money. That is why IITians, they go to other IITians. IIMs, they go to their IIMs. INSEAD people go to INSEAD because of trust. So if you are not from an Ivy League college and you want to open your own fund, then the problems you will face are too many. You will have to, in 1 year, you will get 2 meetings with the endowment fund or a pension fund, $800 million, $20 billion fund. They will give you 2 meetings in 1 year. So how will you convince them to give you their money? Becomes very difficult. But with the IIT, IIM, and all these people, they are able to manage on alumni network. All the alumni network, you just use that. But from a capability perspective, Mr. Bharat Patel, you very rightly said that global tech companies are founded with no education background. You are very right. Actually, the capability does not depend on that degree. Skill set might depend, but capability does not depend. But these networks, they are basically helpful, IIT, IIM, because of networking. Abhay Sapru says, with crypto, it's not just digital currency, there is more to it. The technology behind blockchain, treasury and land deals and funding. Yeah. So Bitcoin is different, crypto is different, Mr. Abhay Sapru. I'm not saying Bitcoin technology is not useful, but if you look at the recent, uh, uh, research in the market, they are saying that because blockchain stores all the records, uh, any change which happened in a distributed ledger, so it becomes very slow. If you are utilizing blockchain, it becomes very slow. So I'm not underplaying blockchain. All I'm saying is crypto as a currency can be traded across borders through the same platforms, through the same wallets. So the cross-border trading in crypto is one thing which is keeping it hot. But other than that, if you want to use the cryptocurrency in buying anything as a currency, you can't use it as a currency. That's what I'm saying. Justin Jacob, I'm a real estate developer. When should I approach investors to scale up my business? Real estate is picking up, Justin. It's picking up in India at least, and if there are many. I know the guy who manages Shapurji Palonji family office, and they put money in real estate. So there are a lot of such investors who put money in real estate. Okay, Gopal says, "Hi, I'm Siva. I own an early stage startup. Would like to have one-on-one session." One-on-one session. Uh, One-on-one session. I don't know. Please approach me on LinkedIn if you are on LinkedIn, or through my website. You can email me also. Jay says, any platform you recommend for co-founder matching? Co-founder matching. See, when it comes to forming teams, the soft skills matter. Band, the how well you gel with each other. Mainly, the main thing is whether the vision of both the co-founders they match or not. See, if you have a vision that you want to create something, you are going all aggressive, and the founder suddenly tells you, "Don't put more money into this. Let us wait and watch." So there can be differences. So the visions should match, and the skill set should match. Any platform you recommend for co-founder matching? There's so many platforms. You can. I think you should take part in these startup events. So once you take part in these startup events, and you can announce there that I'm looking for a co-founder. So a lot of people will in WhatsApp groups. Startup has so many WhatsApp groups. You just put in there, I am looking for a co-founder. Many people will approach you. And main thing is look people uh, from a like there is a gaming company. The founder had come to me 4 years back. Very young guy, fresh out of engineering college, and his gaming company got funded very nicely. So recently, one person approached me. He was not telling that he's from which company, and he said he has a gaming company. He needs funding, and I told him that sure, I can get him funding. And I realized that this person used to work in that gaming company since 4 years. So he has seen how the founders of that gaming company made big money, $100 million, $200 million. So that's why he's opened his own gaming company. So if you are able to get people from other startups which are funded, you'll be able to find the co-founders. You can use LinkedIn also. LinkedIn is a very good tool. If you put your requirement on LinkedIn post, Jay, it is a very good option. How and where we can interact the venture capitalist? On the startup events, you can interact venture capitalists. There are many startup events which keep on happening every day. Ashwani Upadhyay, don't have collateral. Oh, how to get loan? Organic and specialized baby wear product brand needs money. Mudra option or a VC. So there is government had started the CGT SME loan, which is a part of I think Mudra loan only. So you can get, although they say that it is up to 2 crores, but that loan, the CGT SME loan, is around 60, 70 lakhs or 80 lakhs. And it doesn't require collateral. And so you can take unsecured loan. But if you take normal unsecured loan from banks, your interest rate will be very high. So you take it under Mudra option or CGT SME option. Or why don't you take equity? I mean, 90 lakh turnover you have a consumer company, baby wear product. So you do a D2C, no? Direct to consumer. Look at these D2C companies. In 2015, the D2C sector, direct to consumer sector was zero. Now it is $4 billion. And look at both headphones. Within 4 years, it got $100 million funding. $100 million. So you create your own website, D2C website. You take funding in that. I think you should try that. Manoj Yadav says, what about startups new and not yet listed? in the ideation. Ideation, then you have to go to accelerator incubator, and they will give you 15 lakhs or 25 lakhs or less than that. Does it's not fixed that they will give you 15 lakhs. They might give you 8 lakhs, 10 lakhs. Ideation stage, a lot of work has to be done. Ideation stage is very early. Anonymous, who can fund for manufacturing startup, including land, factory, approximately 2 to 3 crores for POC. Yeah, you can get VC funding, including land, factory, machinery. Okay. What kind of manufacturing? Is it something related to renewable energy or electric vehicles? Is it something related to sunrise businesses, or it is legacy businesses? I need to answer. I need to know that. Mayank Agarwal says, what factors of startup we should tell about to the investors so that they can fund a startup? What factors of startup we should tell about to the investors so that they can. This I have already covered in the presentation. Leela Dhar recently developed a SaaS-based platform. Currently, revenues in thousands only. Thousands. Yes, you can get investment, but only from angels. In a low revenue SaaS, the fund guys won't be like putting in money so easily. So SaaS based platform revenue low, then you have to look for angels. Harshal Jarodhe, it has been in the tech business now. Okay, manufacturing business, the money gets put in the manufacturing business, the private equity funds. Private equity fund guys, they like to put money in manufacturing business. But venture capital funds, they have a problem putting in money in Indian manufacturing business because we are always competing in China. And the factor of production in China is cheap as compared to the factor of productions in India, like land, labor, logistics cost, uh, petrol cost, diesel cost. So because of all this, the value, the pricing of the product, we are not able to match with the Chinese. So now the government is coming out with two things. One is anti-dumping duty on the imports from China. And secondly, the PLI, production linked incentive scheme, where you get 6% cash back from the government. So because of that, the sector is looking up, and yes, private equity funds can invest there. And then DBE, we are in real estate person. We looking for, how can you help us to raise VC? We are looking 332 properties. So I have to see, real estate is now looking up, but real estate is looking up in less risky areas. Less risky means where, fully constructed commercial properties which are already giving a return. So real estate guy will like to put in money there, fund guys, and they can make a rental return. So you can do a REIT also, REIT, REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust. We can talk about it. Satish Singh, we are in property management and home rental solutions and try to organize them through technology, but facing problem to get the fund from investors. Okay, let us talk about it. Approach me, Mr. Satish. Manohar, we are pulses, processors, and exporters. Yes, there are. Please approach me. Kishore, what return generally investor expects? Okay, the investor expects 20 to 25% internal rate of return, IRR, per year. IRR is always per year. So the investor expects that. But the investors who have access to high quality funds like Sequoia Capital and Mega Delta, and so they expect more because they say that give us blockbuster returns. Like WhatsApp Sequoia invested in WhatsApp at a valuation of $50 million. And then Sequoia sold WhatsApp to Facebook for $19 billion. From $50 million to $19 billion. So imagine the guys who would have put in money in the fund of Sequoia, which was invested in WhatsApp, how much return they would have got. Huge. Unbelievable return. Put in $5 million and in 3-4 years, take $3 billion. That kind of. We are from, Nasreen says, we are from e-learning business looking for investments. Ma'am, I'm hugely supportive of women founders and happy to help you, Nasreen ma'am. Please approach me. Nitish Mathur, what do investors see in the traditional product being launched differently and having same or higher price? Yes. See, you have to, Nitish Mathur, you have to bring efficiency. If you are bringing efficiency on mode of delivery, on the quality of product, on the pricing of product, on the anything, you are disrupting the market. So naturally, investor will like it. Suresh Babu, already automobile bodybuilding industry expertise of 30 years. Now for startup of electric vehicles, mobility for disabled people and agriculture transportation. Which way is good, investors or government? Okay, so you are trying a new business. Your original business is automobile bodybuilding. And disabled people, you must have created a new product for them. So let me tell you about a class of investors which is called ESG, Environmental, Social and Corporate Governance, ESG. And these investors, they invest in businesses which have social value. Whether they are solving an environmental problem or they are solving a social problem or they are solving a governance problem. So we have, I am personally, uh, uh, I have relations with 27, 28 impact investors. They're called impact investors. So there I can help you with the electric vehicle mobility for disabled people. And agricultural transportation for long, vast farmer fields. Yeah, very good line. Agriculture transportation is very hot. You will. Okay. DBIND says, I'm Chandra. Hi, Chandra. Harsh says, how much interest rate does the venture capitalist charge on monthly basis? Harsh, as I told you, venture capitalists don't charge interest rate. They take your equity, then they want to grow your company, then they sell the equity at 100 times, 200 times in 5 years, 8 years. But if they are taking preference shares and debentures and not normal equity, then the preference shares and debentures, they have an option where the investor can take an interest rate till the time the preference share and debenture is converted to equity. So usually that doesn't happen. Investor knows that it's a startup, they won't be able to bear the interest rate. So usually that doesn't happen. Can you share a case study on effective pitching to VC? Yeah, Praveen. Share a case study. I have my 6 years of experience. I can guide you regarding that. Kiran Ekhande says, can you please provide source for the angel investor? As said, my number is this. Okay. Number, I won't be able to. There are so many questions and time is running out. So I can't, if everybody starts giving their numbers, I can't save really. So if you can approach me on my website, then it'll be better. Uh, No, I can't save all numbers here. We are running out of time. Ankush Sharma, sir, do we need to show the profit or valuation to investors, or they can put money in a well-planned startup? नहीं, profit शुरू में initial days you don't have to show a profit. Amazon made losses from 1994 to 2014. 20 years Amazon made losses because it kept on reinvesting the profit into some new business. The stock price never fell down. The stock price always kept on going up. Why? Because the investors loved the fact that Amazon was putting the money into growing the business. But the caution here is your business model shouldn't be a fluke that you are making losses and burning investors' money for nothing. Like WeWork, look at WeWork. Takes property in the best location in the city, makes a 7-star facility. And who are the customers? People who barely have a job, who can't pay for that facility. So what happened to WeWork? Its IPO, which was coming at $45 billion valuation, then the valuation was scrapped and the investment bankers gave them $8 billion valuation, from $45 billion to $8 billion. And that also IPO didn't come. Because their business model was faulty. Basic model was flawed. So you don't need to show a profit, but your business model should be good. Shiraz Pasha, I asked about non-interest based funding in India. Like, sorry to my internet disconnected. Non-interest based funding is revenue based financing. The companies are there like Club, KLUB Club, and GetVantage is one company. So in case you are into online consumer business, then you can get, it is not non-interest bearing, but it is without collateral. So you can get a loan without collateral. GCC countries, let's talk about it on LinkedIn or on my website. Chitran Srivastava, if anyone is making a prototype, then to whom he should go for initial funding? Angel invest. Before angel investor, you can go to friends and family, FNF. You take the initial money from friends and family. Then you take it from angel investor. Then you take it from accelerator incubator, if required. And then you take it from VC, then from private equity. Ashwani Upadhyay ji, don't have collateral. This I already answered. Na? Tool buy. Hi, you said we're multiple co-founder. Yeah, you should have multiple co-founder. Even though my business is making money, the VCs I have interacted with call it pre-money. Oh, no. Pre-money means that post-money and pre-money. Pre-money means, suppose your valuation is 5 crores and you are asking for 2 crores from the investor. So your pre-money valuation will be 5 crores and 5 plus 2, 7 crores will be the post-money valuation. So this is a nomenclature which we use. 5 crore is the pre-money valuation. 2 crore I am raising from the market, from the investor. 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 crore is post-money valuation. And Janish, thanks. Ashwani ji, loan I already. Ashwani ji, please approach me, Mr. Upadhyay. Anonymous, what is the ratio of IT solution companies to? Yes. IT companies can get funded, but they should have a. They should be. Pure play IT companies get funded if they are a big size. Small IT companies, if they are creating a unique product, then they can get funded. Normal IT company like, digital marketing company or a website company, only angel investor can fund it, but the VC guy won't fund it. Angel investor fund karega, but VC guy won't fund it. Muhammad Adi, how do you see a startup who has equity of another startup which is cash? Both have big markets. How do you see who also has an equity of another startup? I see it quite positively. In fact, in my power series, I will discuss where to open the holding company, Singapore, Dubai, Mauritius, US, UK, how to structure the transaction in the best possible manner for tax efficiency. How should you save tax and get the most benefit out of the countries? Danish, can you help raise funds professionally? Danish KT, yes, I will do that. I will help you raise funds. New user, good evening, sir. Great session. The scope of matchmaking and community apps. So this company in the US, it opened for. So basically, you know, if you look at the matchmaking companies, the you know, it was the ladies didn't have so much of rights as the men would have in a matchmaking app company. But now that is changing. So there is a, I'm forgetting the name. There is a app which came in the US, and its valuation has already crossed $3-4 billion. I'm forgetting the name of the app. So there is a scope. Yeah. Oh, this name of the app, I don't know. It started from B or something. Forgetting. Anonymous, organic black rice production and selling and go for export. Also dealing. Sir, you can raise the government construction project. No, sir. Angel investor will put in money. Mr. KK Singh, K2 Engineering and Construction. Angel investor can give you money if you give him returns or do a JV, joint venture or a partnership. But VC funding, no, organic black rice production VC funding can happen. But government construction project VC funding won't happen. Mayank ji, what is the ratio of IT solution companies to get funding? I already answered that. Seed say startup who also has equity, Mr. Muhammad Adi. Yes, I look at quite positively. Sir, we are into healthcare diagnostic. We are launching online pharmacy valuation. Yeah, Mangesh K, please approach me. I can get you funding. Yes. We can scale up. Future of gaming industry in India, very bright, very bright. Look at all the kids of middle class. They are forever on the game. That gives you a good idea about the future of gaming industry in India. Mangesh K, 5 milliliter lab is our app name. Very nice. Handloom sari business, Devdutt Das. You have to bring technology into this business or do a D2C or, you know, have something in the business model which is in fashion with the investors. Then you can get funding. What is the ratio of a health tech company formed in apps to get funded? I didn't get you. What is the ratio of a health tech company formed in apps? Yeah, it's a good possibility to get funded. Okay, then. Hello, sir. Good to be there. As a early, how can I raise funding in pre-revenue? I'll have to create your pitch deck. I mean, you will have to create your pitch deck, a business plan, and then we approach the investors. We sell through Shopify. Then you, Mr. Devdutt Das. Apart from Shopify, you should also have your own website because D2C is the way forward. Okay, I will just finish it. Hello, MSMEX. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I think we are through with it. Till what time we have to do it?
We can end it now.
So
we can just approach once more for the masterclass and you can explain that and then we can shut it off.
Okay. So guys, the thing is, I'm not able to take further questions as of now. I hope I've tried my best to answer all your questions. Let me first tell you a little bit more about the global venture capital, which we discussed today. So the Power series will have 4 sessions. First session, what do investors want and how do they structure the transaction? So we have to structure the transaction. Tax benefit should be there. Then according to the growth, according to laws. So I will discuss all of that on 22nd October, Friday at 4 p.m. Then the second session will be on what is an investor's term sheet. So the whatever conditions and amount the investor puts in, they put it in a document which is called the term sheet. So I'll discuss the term sheet there. It has many things: the structure of the transaction, amount, the tenor till the time they will put in their money, what are the rights they are getting, the right on the board of directors, whether they're getting or not, how will they make the exit, uh, whether it has ESOP, employee stock option plan, all those things. Third session will be how to create a pitch deck. This is most important because pitch deck is a document which is the first impression on the investor. So that is very important. Fourth is how to do valuation of a company. So there are many methods to do valuation of a company. I will discuss all of them. Each session is 90 minutes. The master class is total 8 hours, and the offer price is including of GST 6,000 rupees. You can register on MSMEX platform, and happy to discuss with you. You can approach again. I will put on the chat my website and my LinkedIn profile. Hello, MSME.
Yes, sir.
I think we are good to end now.
Okay, sure, sir.
Or you want me to take what's the time? We are already at 6 o'clock, so I will end now.
Okay, sir.
So I would like to thank everyone, including the team at MSMEX. Thank you so much. And Abdul, can we talk offline after this?
Sure, sir. You can talk.
Okay. Thank you so much, all of you, and happy to help. The next session is on 25th September, Saturday. The next session is, wait, I'll check. I forgot when it is. It is on 25th September, Saturday at 4 p.m. So thank you so much, all of you. Have a good day. Thank you, Abdul. We'll speak after this. Thank you.
Sure, sir. Thank you, everyone, for joining.